from shattering another one of Usain Bolt's under-20 records to setting his sights on becoming world number one. Here's all you need to know about Erriyon Knighton's new 200-meter record. As you might have heard, Erriyon recently broke another one of Usain Bolt's records at the 2023 Oslo Diamond League's 200-meter event on the 15th of June. Now, when it comes to track and field dominance, there's a whole list of athletes to pick from. But no matter who you choose, you can't deny that when it comes to the junior division, Erriyon Knighton's making history. His performance in the under-20 rankings has been unreal. Moving into 2023, the 19-year-old speedster held 9 of the 10 fastest 200-meter times ever. But not anymore, because with his run at Oslo, he's beat Usain Bolt and finally scored a perfect 10:10. The Jamaican sprinter set the world record at 19.93 seconds back in 2004, and during his 2023 season, Erriyon ran the 200 distance thrice and finished under 20 seconds every single time, only getting better and better with each run. During his 2-week European trip, he went from 19.89 to 19.85 to a jaw-dropping 19.77 on the 15th of June, straight up shattering Bolt's numbers. But how did Erriyon do it? Well, as the whistle went off, Erriyon roared off the bend, leading at the turn, and then piled it on in the final 50 meters, soaring past his rivals as he vanished from their sight. The sprinter won by 0.32 seconds and was pretty clear of Cuba's Heinier Mena, who clocked in second with a time of 20.09, as well as his American teammate Joseph Fahnbulleh, who was in third at 20.23. As for Andre de Grasse, the reigning champion, he had a lot of catching up to do by the second half and finished fifth with 20.33. Andre had a lot of pressure on him, mainly because of the gold medal he'd snatched from Erriyon and Noah Lyles at the 2020 Olympics. But it's safe to say that Knighton's stolen the headlines back, not just from de Grasse, but from his other rivals too. Because when it comes to the race for breaking Bolt's records, Erriyon isn't the only one running. Many others are gunning for the top spot too. As of 2023, it's been 13 years since Bolt set the men's 100-meter and 200-meter world records with insane times of 9.58 and 19.19, which every sprinter dreams of beating. The American team is in pretty hot form though, and is the closest you can get to beating the 200-meter time, especially with people like Knighton, Noah Lyles, and Michael Norman on the list. For now, Lyles is in the lead with 19.31, just 0.12 off Bolt, and the 4th fastest 200-meter time in history. But besides Noah, there's another talented speedster who's entering the conversation. Right now, he's a 400-meter specialist, but Michael Norman's just as impressive on the 200-meter track. At 25, Michael's the same age as Noah and is one of the only 3 men to put in a sub-20-second time at the 200 meters, clocking in at 19.70. With those numbers, expectations are high from Michael, especially if he decides to focus on shorter sprints. But when it comes to Erriyon, he's under a different kind of pressure, mainly because of his age. The athlete's already 5th fastest, behind Noah and Michael Johnson at just 19. Time's ticking for Lyles and Johnson, and Noah's already talked about his disappointment at not beating the world record at the 2022 World Championships. Which makes sense. Causes their bodies inch closer to retirement, athletes never want to waste time. But that's one thing Knighton doesn't have to worry about. The speedster isn't even at his peak and is getting better every year, which makes his time in Oslo no surprise. At 18, the runner beat a whole host of world-class speedsters and won the bronze at the 2022 World Athletic Championships. And with that run, Erriyon became the youngest athlete to ever cop a medal in the championship's history. Knighton also holds the record for 200 meters at the World Under-18, with his stunning time of 19.84 seconds, along with the World Under-20 record at a crazy 19.69. So it's safe to say that when it comes to the 200 meter, you just can't keep this guy away from the podium. Erriyon's best mark of 19.49 was the fastest season opener in history and made him the 5th fastest 200-meter sprinter ever, behind only Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Noah Lyles, and Michael Johnson. And fun fact, he did that while he was still in school, causing fans and fellow sprinters like Michael Cherry to joke about him taking his medal to algebra class. Gotta say though, makes me feel kinda insecure, but that's not all, because in 2022, Knighton became the first athlete to ever win a second World Athletics Male Rising Star of the Year award. So clearly, it feels like he's been blazing the track his whole life. But that's actually far from the truth. In fact, Erriyon wasn't meant to be on the track at all. As a student at Hillsborough High School in Tampa, he was praised as a future football star all the time, especially for the wide receiver position. But after noticing his speed, one of the coaches decided to step in and asked him to leave football altogether. Fortunately, the coach saw where Erriyon would really shine. On the track. Did you know he still gets offers from colleges to play football? No thanks, I think he'll stick with Olympic medals instead. Anyway, he began competing in 2019, and in the final of the 2020 USA Track and Field Junior Olympics, posted the second fastest 200-meter time ever for an under-18 runner. From then on, Knighton's gone nowhere but up. He was sponsored by Adidas and broke his first Usain Bolt record in the first round of the Tokyo Olympics trials, specifically his under-20 time, by 0.05 seconds. At the final on the 27th of June, Erriyon set a personal record of 19.84, getting a spot on the U.S. team and becoming its youngest male Olympic runner since Jim Ryan in 1964. After winning his 200-meter semi-final, he qualified for the next day's final and finished fourth with a time of 19.93 seconds. After that, he put in his junior world record of 19.49 at the LSU Invitational in Baton Rouge, and the rest is history. It's crystal clear that this guy's a prodigy. But what exactly makes him so good? Turns out, Knighton's breaking Bolt's records because he's pretty similar to the Jamaican. He's already doing better than Bolt was at his age, having broken his under-20 record not once but 2 times. According to performance analysts, it has a lot to do with his lanky body. Bolt was famous for his height, and rightfully so, because it let him cover more ground with each step. To me, it almost felt like the guy was leaping from start to finish. The same goes for Erriyon, because at 6'3", he's only 2 inches shorter than Bolt, and he's got the same natural advantage. According to John Regis, Knighton's agent and UK's 200-meter record holder, speed's all about covering the ground, which is exactly how Erriyon's height makes him faster. At 6'3", you can turn your legs much faster than someone who's 5'9", which is exactly what Knighton's doing. The speedster has a long stride, and he knows it, using it to push for max speed and frequency. But besides height, it's all about the angles. You see, because of his foot's takeoff angle, Erriyon decreases his contact time with the ground, which means he pushes right back off the track and spends more time going forward than he does fighting with the floor. Add that to his height, insanely wide step, and Knighton's covering more ground than Santa on Christmas Eve. So I guess my teacher was right. Math is everywhere, and it's clearly helping this kid get to the top. With that said, though, what's next for this massive talent? In an Olympics exclusive, Knighton revealed that he set his sights on Paris 2024, where he'll be gunning for the #1 spot against Noah Lyles. With that said, he's also got plenty more chances. And if his career keeps going like this, Erriyon will be 24 at the 2028 LA Olympics and 28 at Brisbane in 2032. Hopefully, at one of these events, or the many more in between, Knighton can climb the ranks and finally become the 200-meter champion. The boy's only 19 and is already competing to be the top dog, so I don't know about you, but thinking of the future sends chills down my spine. And there you have it. From setting his sights on becoming world #1 to shattering another one of Usain Bolt's under-20 records. That was all you needed to know about Erriyon Knighton's new 200-meter record.